KHTS.com. Edible Arrangements is on Soledad near Bouquet Canyon.
KHTS, your hometown station.
It is Santa Clarita's hometown station, KHTS. Make sure you go to hometownstation.com for all the latest and greatest Santa Clarita has to offer. And speaking of the greatest Santa Clarita has to offer, we've been doing a special series here on your hometown station, KHTS, getting in the administration from different high schools and districts in the Santa Clarita Valley. And we are joined by Valencia principal Steve Ford joins us now. Steve, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Do I call you Principal Ford, or what am I supposed to call you?
Just Steve.
Okay,
Ford.
Steve. All right, I'll go
care.
with Steve. Okay, sounds good.
I get called a lot of things, and it's all right.
Okay, all right, good. Well, that's not good, but I'm glad that we're friends enough I can call you Steve. So, Steve, for those who don't know, this is your first year at Valencia High School.
It is.
And where are you from, though? What's your background? Did you grow up here in the Santa Cruz Valley? From somewhere else? What's your background, Steve?
I grew up, honestly, I grew up in the South. So I'm from Louisiana, grew up in Texas, most part, and then we moved out here in. It was really a decision of where do we go to play football.
Okay.
And so my parents moved here. It was Canyon or Antelope Valley High School.
Oh, okay.
And because he was the B1 test pilot, he was the chief test pilot for the B1 project, and so we ended up going to Antelope Valley and playing there.
Okay. So Lockheed Martin, is that where it was? Or
Boeing at the time. Well, it was Rockwell at the time.
Okay.
So,
cool. That's awesome.
So so
your dad was a pilot?
My dad was a pilot.
So did you, growing up, did you move around a lot?
We moved around a lot. He was Air Force initially, but we mainly stayed in Louisiana, Texas.
Okay.
I did do a small stint in Sacramento for a very short time. Went back to Texas.
Okay.
And I was okay with that.
And so you came out here, when was that? Or out here
it was about my sophomore year in high school.
Okay.
Came out here and went straight to Antelope Valley.
Okay.
So.
And so you, for better or worse, kind of grew up formative years, certainly in the Antelope Valley.
Yeah. Once I came back from college, I've lived here pretty much since. About the last 15, 20 years, I've lived in the Santa Clarita Valley.
Okay. So where did you go to college?
BYU. I started off at San Diego State.
Oh, okay. My wife went to BYU.
Yeah, and then I made the transition up to BYU.
Okay.
So
Go Cougars. All
yeah.
right. I used to at Lavelle Edwards Stadium.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know. Yeah, I used to sell popcorn.
I played with Lavelle Edwards, so.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yes, I did.
Right on. That's awesome.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know you were a football player. So
I pretended well.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Nice. All right. Yeah, I did the same thing in high school. Okay. So you went to BYU. You went to. Did you get a postgraduate degree?
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
Where did you go?
Oh, my postgraduate
Yeah.
I got from Cal State Bakersfield.
Okay.
My master's in educational administration.
Okay.
From there.
Was education always part of the plan?
No.
Okay.
It was never a part of the plan.
Okay.
I didn't even know there was an educational plan. Didn't know it existed.
Okay.
No, actually, I was moving towards chiropractic and physical therapy.
Okay.
And when I blew my knee out playing football, kind of had a few adjustments to make. Some people I knew.
Pun intended.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Some people I knew sucked me down to the Antelope Valley to do some coaching clinics.
Okay.
And I kind of fell in love with it. Put Palmer Chiropractic on hold for about a year, and then I put it off indefinitely because I loved what I was doing. So
Still currently on hold. So
yeah, unfortunately, one of these days I'll go back and get a real job. Right now.
So so that was the transition there. Again, we're speaking with Steve Ford. He's the principal over at Valencia High School, joining us on your hometown station, KHTS 98.1 FM and AM 1220. So you were you a teacher at that point? So you did the coaching stuff. Were you a teacher also?
I was. Yeah, I started off as a teacher and coach. So I picked up coaching varsity level, and we had a lot of fun. Starting off at Lancaster High School, it was first years of Lancaster. Had some great success, and then I went off and took off and went to business. Left education for a short time, and I got sucked back into education because various reasons. And then I went into administration.
Okay.
So
was that part of the plan once you got into education?
Again, didn't even know about administration. Okay. Someone just told me, one of the principals, you need to be an administrator. I'm like, what is that?
Okay.
Because I still wasn't planning on staying in education at the time. So.
And so what was that like? What was that decision like going from? Because once I assume I don't know of any that do it, but once you're a principal, is that coaching is kind of left.
Coaching's
to the side.
gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
So what was that like? That decision to make?
Leaving football was hard, but I've never really left football. I've just coached now at like Pop Warner. My kids were coming up, and so I just continued coaching them, whether it was coaching soccer or coaching football. But for the last 8 years, I've been coaching Pop Warner or Wildcats or Warriors, wherever I've been out here. I've been coaching somewhere. So like all these teams we play football every Friday night, I've coached a lot of those kids that are out there. It's been a lot of fun to watch them though.
Yeah. So you decided to become an administrator. and how many different places have you been before Valencia?
A lot.
Okay.
I think prior to Valencia, I was in the Antelope Valley for 20 years, and I was at 7 different schools.
Holy cow.
But that's how they are in the Antelope Valley. We move around.
Okay.
About every 2 to 3 years, they move some of their administrators around. It was a good experience. You got to see a variety of things and learn a lot. I think that was really what gave me the opportunity coming into Valencia to really see Valencia and look at it and make some of the adjustments we've made immediately without, I've had a lot of experience in that. So
is this this isn't your first time as principal, right?
No.
You were, but you.
This is my 3rd school
Okay.
as a principal, yeah.
Okay, all right. So how was that transition going, coming from the Antelope Valley to here?
I mean, the transition as principal is easy. It's the challenge is learning all new faces, learning the district office and how the district office works compared to where it wasn't before. I knew who to call every second. Now I'm like, who do I call? What am I doing? Yeah. Can I do this? So that's been the challenge. But the kids are great. The kids are there. I love Valencia. It's been great. And it is the best school in the Valley.
Whoa. Okay.
I got to say that. Come on.
Okay. All right.
But it's great though. I really have loved it. Love the kids there. Love the teachers. We got a great staff and a lot of upside to Valencia High School. So I'm excited for the future of Valencia as well.
What are your goals, maybe for the future of Valencia? I know the first year is kind of you're just like you said, trying to figure out what phone numbers to call and stuff. But what are some of your goals this year and maybe in the future for Valencia High School?
Well, this year, I mean, we've made some changes already right off the bat. The things that really needed to be put in place. We're trying to put some structures in place so that people know how to move around the campus without really any concern. The biggest thing I'm trying to do is create an environment that's safe for kids. And that safety, what I'm really talking about, not just from the outside world, but safe to take chances, safe to really push themselves and fail. And in that failure, that's where they learn and grow and push. It's part of my why of who I am is to push against the status quo. And I want to inspire other people to do the same thing, to push that wall, to push where they say it's impossible, and to change the definition of impossible and move that definition around. I would love to see kids doing that. So.
He's Steve Ford. He is the Valencia High School principal, joining us on your hometown station, KHTS 98.1 FM and AM 1220. Has it been kind of like trying to get your culture in there? I don't know if that's a thing with a principal. If because I know with coaching, because I just interviewed the head coach of Golden Valley yesterday, talking about he went from a pretty successful program to Golden Valley, which had not been successful until he had gotten there. Is it the same thing with being a principal? I mean, you have a coaching background. Is it kind of you have a style of doing things? It's just kind of getting everybody up to speed to that?
It's very much the same thing. Yeah, and everybody knows as leadership changes, so does the culture of the school change. And it's just like it with any head coach. I approach everything, I guess, like I would as a coach. But in terms of I approach education more in a business standpoint, I guess, than more as an educator. Most educators look at me and are like, what are you doing? They have no concept of what I'm really working on, or at least they think I'm crazy half the time.
Okay.
But I think it is the right position and the right direction to go for our school and how we approach changing the culture or working with people. I just believe in giving people opportunities. So.
How do you see educators? I've talked with quite a few principals from the district. How do you see education, especially at the high school level, changing? Obviously, technology is a big thing, but how do you see it changing in the future?
That's a good question. And I've been talking about this for a long time. One of the biggest things that we're focusing on, I feel like all we want to focus on is knowledge. Knowledge is out there. Anybody can access knowledge.
Go on my phone right now.
Exactly. It's what do you do with the knowledge? And I think we're starting to make that shift now of more of how do we take knowledge and apply it to something bigger. And so what I think you're going to start to see education turning more towards, even with technology, because technology is only as good as the paper that you have in front of you as well. If you don't know how to use it properly.
Gotcha.
And so it's really the development and acquisition of skills. And like I was telling some teachers, probably the most important class right now, and it's probably upset a lot of people, but the most important class to me in a high school is your AP English 11, your Lang class, because it's all about communication. It's about learning how to take an original idea and communicating an original thought so that other people buy in, right? And if we can do that, you can do all kinds of things. The world opens up to you. And then if we can add in creativity and collaboration and critical thinking, how powerful is that kid?
Yeah.
They can do anything at that point. And so that's really, I think, where education is going to start to mold and turn. It's already making moves towards that. And I think as we really make transition heavily into technology, you're going to start to see us using more technology for creativity and collaboration so that we can communicate better or communicate more original thoughts.
Awesome. He's Steve Ford, principal at Valencia High School. I'll get you out of here on this. Do you think the Vikings will win the Foothill League title in football again this year?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Hear that? All the other high schools are terrible at football. That's his words. His words, not mine. Thank you for taking the time. Appreciate it. I know you're a busy man. And good luck this year and in the future.
Thank you so much.
Steve Ford. He is the principal at Valencia High School on your hometown station, KHTS 98.1 FM and AM 1220.